It's the summer of 2013, and I find myself completing dissertation research in Northern Africa, in the country of Algeria. While there, I'm able to visit the coastal cities of Oran and Algiers, the port city of Annaba in the east, and the magnificent Constantine, which is like a terraced city full of gorges and bridges throughout. But as I think of this time, this special time, right before I started working here at Ohio Wesleyan, there's one visit that I keep coming back to again and again. That's the visit to Gardaya. Now, Gardaya is an amazing place, visually, culturally, historically, and otherwise. It's located at the tip, the northern tip of the Sahara Desert. And I want you to just imagine how it rises out of the sands of the Sahara Desert. And it refers to two things. It refers to a province, which is made up of 5 small towns, but it also refers to the capital town of the province. Now, in order to access Gardaya and to tour it, you have to tour it with an approved UNESCO guide because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. When you walk through the labyrinthine burnt sienna alleyways of the town towards the central mosque that rests solemnly in the very middle of the space, you see women who are traditionally clothed, and they're wearing long, white, bright white, pristinely clean robes. They move around swiftly throughout the town, and they cover half of their faces with these robes. So you can imagine the contrast in colors. It's stunning. So we find ourselves at the mosque, and the tour guide excuses himself. He needs to go and pick up some businessmen who have come south from Algiers to visit Gardaya. He returns a few minutes later, and we're all speaking in French. We introduce ourselves, we share introductions, and one of the men asks me where I'm from. And I explain that originally I come from Houston, Texas. At this, his face lights up, he smiles, very proudly he breaks into perfect English, and he says, "I have a joke for you. Now, when you go back to your hotel tonight, open up your computer, and in the search bar, type, 'Where is Chuck Norris?' And Google will tell you, you do not find Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris finds you." Okay, now I love a good Chuck Norris joke, but here we were at the northern tip of the Sahara Desert. This I did not see coming. Now let's take a step back for a second. So many things had to be in place for this moment to occur, okay? First of all, innovation in technology and transportation had to have occurred already. The internet had to be widespread and available. And American popular culture had to have reached a place that many Americans might find difficult to locate on a map before seeing this presentation. So the reason that I share this anecdote is because it speaks to a cultural phenomenon that is increasingly common in an era of globalization, namely the widespread, important influence of American popular culture. Increasingly, those of us who study cultural production are seeing that large players are favored by globalization. So big book publishers, big film production companies and the like are reaching out further and further. They're finding markets that they didn't know even 10 years ago. So in this sense, globalization and diversity run counter to one another. This is a problem because it means there are voices that we aren't hearing, and there are stories that we're not reading, that we're not getting access to. The good news, though, is that there are 4 things you, everyone in this room, can do starting today, and here they are. Number 1, you can look up, this is so simple and it should be super fun, you can look up the best foreign language films on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, find a friend and watch one once a week. You can use the amazing Canopy streaming resource that we have subscriptions to right here at Ohio Wesleyan through the library. You can find an Instagram account that's representative of a cultural tradition that's different from your own. And of course, you can take advantage of the many generous, amazing, funded travel opportunities that we have right here. So with this in mind, I just want to suggest to you that if you do some of these things, You might find yourself meeting somebody who's not from here, and you might find out where they're from, and you might know something about the place from which they come, and you might be able to share a moment of familiarity that's so precious to someone who's away from home. Thank you.